What's your name?
Chris Ramsey.
How long have you been in real estate?
20 years.
What was the first asset you ever bought?
2 family.
How long have those tenants been in place?
20 years.
What is your favorite part about being a real estate investor?
Semi-passive income.
What is your second favorite thing about being a real estate investor?
Appreciation.
What is the least favorite part about being a real estate investor?
Tenants.
What is the thing you worry about most going forward with investing in real estate?
Oversupply.
You go back 10 years and tell yourself about investing in real estate. What's one thing you would tell yourself?
Learn to manipulate or buy and sell based on interest rates.
If you could go back in time 10 years, what's one thing you would tell yourself?
Buy everything and buy more when interest rates are low. Legacy. How I'm going to be remembered. Partnering with a lot of people or combining with them on deals, and I give them the confidence to invest in those deals. And the deals usually are going to work out if I'm a part of them. So I like that.
That's fair enough.
And it gives people confidence. Probably my first deal because the same tenants are still in there, so I would say that that's a really good deal. The other one that really stands out in my mind is one where I wanted to do a junk removal estimate and the guy forced me to buy his house, and I made him an offer that was probably 30% of what it was worth, and he wouldn't take no for an answer and demanded that I buy it even though he knew that the offer was really low. So that one really sticks out in my mind.
Buy my house now!
Because he just demanded I buy his house, and I did. So as a real estate investor, buy and hold. Hold for as long as you possibly can because that's where the real money is made.
Never sell.
That's my plan.
That's your plan.
I don't ever sell.
Never sell.
So a couple things. Most of them were because of eminent domain.
How many of those properties that you sold do you regret selling?
None, because a lot of them I was forced to sell because of eminent domain, like I said, or I was traded. It was the right move at the time.
Looking back now in the past, 20 years of being a real estate investor, what's something that you wasted time on that you could have avoided, with the knowledge you have now?
I think I would have got into industrial real estate sooner. My answer would be I wasted time on looking at other asset classes instead of honing in on industrial real estate. Tenants is probably the main reason I hear why people don't do it. But you have to learn the game. Or there's honestly risk. They're scared of the risk and the unknown. But honestly, the best thing about real estate is if you put in the work and you put in the time, you're going to be successful. Really, the only people that aren't successful in real estate are the people that don't put in the work and put in the time.
What do you think is the most exciting class of real estate today?
Contractor garages.
What do you think is the most overrated segment of real estate today?
Office. Is that overrated?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know if office is overrated. I mean, I still see people buying multifamily at 4 caps. So, I mean, I see, as hot as self-storage is, I see people buying multifamilies at lower cap rates than self-storage. So, I guess multifamily would be very popular and very overrated because you got to deal with tenants.
What asset class requires the most hands-on and the most operations to manage?
I guess this would be a newer asset or a newer, at least, business model to an old asset, but short-term rentals are probably the most labor-intensive real estate asset that you can buy.
What do you think is the most time-consuming aspect of being a real estate investor?
Buying properties.
What do you think is the most frustrating aspect of being a real estate investor?
Closing properties.
What do you think is the most rewarding part of being a real estate investor?
The money.
What do you think is the biggest fear you had to overcome when becoming a new real estate investor?
Fear of the unknown.
What is the quickest way to fast track becoming a real estate investor?
House hacking.
What is house hacking?
Buying a house and living in one side, renting at the other. So people have made a lot of money, and I think it's definitely a good place to start and a good place to learn. My problem with flipping houses is there's a lot of variables, and there's a lot of things that you may have not seen or factored in for that are out of your control, such as you sell the house and then 3 months later that person gets denied of a loan, or they back out of the closing, or they cancel the contract and then you got to put it back on the market. So I think there's a lot of variables that are out of your control in flipping houses. And it's definitely a good learning experience to flip houses. So, I mean, flipping houses, you basically learn everything, right?